UK is screwed. Basically,
screwed. What does that mean?
The coalition made the wrong bet. They supported the bond market instead of the real economy. Supported the bond market, they supported the bankers, they supported bailouts. They got this funding for lending scheme where the bankers are just hoarding the money. They're not lending the money. They're using it to play off the central bank for rent seeking. And as a result, they've squeezed out the real economy. The bond market now, here's the joke, Andrew, the bond market is now on the verge of a major correction, a major sell-off. So this is why I say the economy is screwed.
You mean the British government gilts?
The gilt market is now, it's at a, was at a 300-year high.
The yield is rising now.
That's right, the yields are rising now because the bond markets are coming down.
And the cost of insuring a British debt is rising.
That's correct.
So and sterling is slipping. So if you look at the Forex and the bond markets, there's a sense that these markets are now saying, hey, this government's fiscal stance doesn't have credibility. If the financial markets, the people who lend us money to pay for this huge deficit we're running, if they start to lose confidence, because the one thing the government's always put, it doesn't say it's actually a QE that's doing it, but the one thing the government, and Mr. Alexander said it again, oh, well, interest rates are low, people are lending us money, we've got confidence. If that confidence goes, and as you say, there are straws in the wind.
Well, you see the yield is moving up, and the rating agencies are saying they're going to downgrade British debt. It means the cost goes up again.
And the markets have kind of factored that in already. So, what's the consequence?
They haven't factored it in already. The markets are poised to begin to attack the British pound.
What's the consequence?
Where does this end, as far as Craig says, as far as the ordinary voter is concerned? Where are we heading?
Well, I was watching Andrew Neil last night on the Weekly Politics show, and Michael Portillo made this week, and he's saying devaluation, British pound devalue.
Well, that's already underway.
Well, there's going to be a sharp devaluation.
You think a sharp one?
Absolutely.
Now, when I tweet that, a lot of people then say to me, oh, well, that's good for exports. I then point out that the pound was devalued by almost 20% after 2008, and our exports are up 0.1%.
Right, that's a misnomer to say it has beneficial.
What it means is more inflation.
That's right. The cost of imports goes up, and as you point out, there hasn't been a net gain in exports, even though the pound has depreciated.
I open doors for little old ladies. I help the blind to see. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me, and I'm getting real shot down, and I'm feeling mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They say he's sick, he's obscene.
But all those arguments pale into insignificance when compared to the greater argument, the argument that the general public, millions of people outside of this House are considering today. That being statements given during the course of the general election, solemn undertakings given by cabinet ministers to the British people on what their attitudes would be to tax credits. In the case of Mr. Gove, who gave the undertaking that there would be no cut in tax credits, which he was unable to substantiate by way of any agreement, but that is what he said on television in that interview. And in particular, Mr. Cameron, who deliberately misled the British public. And the British public would regard what he said now as a lie to win a general election. But in this particular case, Mr. Cameron did know. Yep. And they set out to avoid revealing the fact by hiding behind this statement that they would have to make substantial cuts without going into difficulty. I believe that those lies trump all the constitutional niceties, whether they be financial privilege or the fatality of amendments. It's on that basis that I intend to support the motion tabled, but the amendment tabled by my noble friend the Baroness Hollis this evening. The public cannot take this scale of lying.
The Prime Minister's attitude to Scotland betrays the worst characteristics of his government. Arrogant, patrician, out of touch, pig-headed, some might say.